Welcome to all of you in today's lecture. That is, we discuss about the functions regarding to that of the strings and date. In the previous lectures, we discussed the date functions. Different types of date functions can be considered in case of the SQL language. Okay. In the previous lecture, we also discussed some aggregate functions. What are the aggregate functions and how we can use them? That should be discussed with the corresponding practicals and on session. Okay. Now today we discuss about different types of functions. These are the functions which is already studied in the previous lectures. That is, all these functions can be used with select keyword in our command prompt. Okay. Then next thing here, we need to consider some string functions. That is, the string function can provide to us. SQL provides some string manipulating functions, we can say. Now, all these string manipulating functions use in case of the particular SQL. That is, if you want to manage some strings in the query, then we can use this type of a function. That is a string function. Here, string in this context includes the values of type character, varying characters, and text. That is, we can form the string with the help of all these data types. That is, we have the data types, or we are very known well the data types of the corresponding string manipulation. We consider the char. We have the fixed length characters. Then we use the char or character data type. Then, if we have varying number of characters in the given string, for example, we consider the name of the student. Then every student has no same characters. The number of characters are not same, they are different. Some students having 4 characters, some students having 10 characters, some students having 15 characters, like that. We consider that purpose, we have to use varchar data type. Okay, varchar, and we mention one integer value corresponding to that of the varchar. And if we have a very long string, if we have a very long number of characters, that is, we consider the lines as an input, then we consider text as an input. For example, we consider the address of a student, then we use this particular text data type in that particular context. Okay, now in this case, how we can manage all these particular strings? For that purpose, SQL can provide different types of functions in that particular context. Now we use that functions, we consider that particular functions. For that purpose, we consider all these particular strings. Here, ASCII, it is one of the short form, that is American Standard for Code Information Exchange. Okay, now this particular ASCII value is assigned to every character. That is, we have a keyboard, and in that keyboard we have 128, 0 to 127 total characters, and each character has its own ASCII value. Now in this case, we consider A. That is, we find out the ASCII value of A, then will get the result 65. It is the integer number. ASCII value, it is one of the integer number. When our computer system interact with the particular characters, all these characters are high level characters, or we can consider they are user readable characters. Okay, user understandable characters, and computer recognize them with the help of this particular number, that is the 65. Because computer does not identify this symbol, we can consider in that particular in the computer context, it is a symbol, and it is that computer does not understand this particular symbol. It understands only the representation of a given character, given symbol in the form of number, that is the arithmetic decimal number, and this decimal number is then converted in the form of binary. That means computer understand only binary language or binary representation of each and every characters. We can say every symbols. We can use various types of special symbols. Every character, every symbol has corresponding ASCII value, that is the integer number assigned to it. And this integer number, when we press capital A, then that integer value 65 will be converted into the binary representation immediately, and that binary representation can be used for the recognition of that particular character by the computer. Okay, now next one is nothing but the CHR function. Now CHR function can convert ASCII code to a character or Unicode point to UTF-8 character. This is the different types of formats can be used in our system by used by our system. And when we pass CHR function, we can use, then our pass value, we pass here integer value, the corresponding character will be displayed, that is the capital A. This will be the display that particular characters. Now we can consider one one example for the ASCII. Select ASCII ASCII, then we can pass here single code capital A, what will be the result? We will get the number 65. If we can consider any of the characters. Suppose I will pass this curly brackets, opening curly bracket. Okay, it is also one of the character. It has a ASCII value 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is the ASCII value 1, 2, 3. Now, if we can pass the character, that is, I will give the character /0. That is /0 character. Okay, now it is also one of the character. Its ASCII value is what? 0. That is the null value, we can say. ASCII value is nothing. 0 is nothing but the null value of that character. We start with this particular character and we continuously increase that particular character or ASCII value 0, 1, 2 up to 127. These are the ASCII function. And if you want to consider the corresponding value, we get the CHR, that is CHR. Okay, we want the character corresponding to the given numbers. For example, we will consider 65. Okay, 65 we will get the character, that is 65 at the line 1. Select CHR, does not exist. Okay, the function CHR is not there. CHR 65 function is okay. Now this is the function which is not given in the sys.database. Some functions were not work properly in that MySQL. So exe. The function is not work clear. That is, every function can be used with the select keyword as well, but it does not identify in that sys.chr database. Okay, so it can return the corresponding. If we pass the ASCII value, it returns the corresponding character. Okay, now that is the functions, string functions in that particular MySQL. Now some other functions will given here. Concat function, concat two or more string into one. Concat is nothing but the combining two or more strings into the single. That is, we can consider that function also. Concat, and here we can pass different string. First of all, we can pass a string a, then comma, we can pass a second string, suppose string b, then we can pass third string, that is suppose string c. And if we can execute it, then we will get the concatenated string abc. That is, this is the concatenation. If we can pass suppose name of the, suppose I will pass the Ganesh, then here I will give the space. Okay, and here we pass Punjir. Okay. This is the name. We will pass into two ways. Then we will get Ganesh Punjir as a single. Okay, this is the single string. Here, this white space character is also concatenated. This white space concat to this Ganesh, and then Punjir can be concatenated to this particular white space character. Then we will get this particular result. That is the concat characters or concatenation of the string. Now, next thing is nothing but we can concat the string with white space characters also. Concat string with a separator. Okay, we can consider this particular example. Comma is the one there. The separator we will be passed, and then we can consider the strings. We consider the same example again for this particular use. For example, we need to separate each string with the help of comma. Then we use here comma. Okay, then we can pass. Nextly, we can consider the strings. Then we have to consider a, then comma. In case we can see the result of concatenation in the first example. Concat can represent ABC, that continuously. But this concat ws, concat underscore ws function can give the result like this. That is w concat ws a comma b comma c, and we can see the concat is nothing but abc only. Okay, can you understood this particular function, the concat function and concat ws function? Okay, that is the concatenation of two strings or two or more strings with a corresponding separator. We can pass any type of the separator. We will give the corresponding symbol. For example, I want this particular semicolon after a symbol, then we will get a semicolon b semicolon c. If you want to change the statement or this separator like colon, then we can use this colon a colon b colon c colon, like this. These are the results corresponding to that of the ws character. Now second thing is nothing but the format function. Now format argument based on a formatting string. If you want to format a particular string in the given context, that is hello %yes, then Postgres SQL. Okay, percentage is nothing but the format base corresponding to that of the format. What format you want to mention, that should be considered in this particular format function. That is format argument based on the formatting string. Given argument can be formatted with the help of given string. कोणती string तुम्ही पास केली त्यानुसार तो argument काय केला जाईल त्यामध्ये format केला जाईल. Then init cap function is there. That is init cap function convert word into a single to a little case. Okay, init cap in the sense we can consider all the first letter of the string, that is word in string to the little case. Convert the given little case मध्ये ते words that you can consider केलं जाईल. आता इथे बघा आपण h फर्स्ट कॅरेक्टर मध्ये h हे स्मॉल लेटर मध्ये स्मॉल घेतलंय, नंतर I काय केलं होतं इथे कॅपिटल घेतलेलं होतं, t स्मॉल घेतलंय, पुढचे सगळे स्मॉल मध्ये घेतलेले होते, कॅपिटल मध्ये घेतलं होतं आणि t हा स्मॉल लेटर मध्ये आहे. Now in this case what happened, for the first letter will be converted into the uppercase and remaining letters will be considered in the lowercase. We can consider we execute that particular function also. We can use init cap function. Select init cap, initialize initial character as a capital character. Okay, initial character as a capital character and remaining are the small letters. Init means what? Initial. Okay, cap means capital. Okay, that is the format of that init cap function. Then here we can consider the suppose I will write hi student. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, this is the string given by you. Okay, this function is not supported by this particular context, that is the init cap function. Okay, now the output for this function can be given according to this. We can consider here h will be capital, I will be small, s will be capital, then other remaining will be converted into the small case. This function is not supported in this particular case. Now left, return the first n character in the string. Left side चे n characters काय करेल, तो आपण तिथे व्हॅल्यू पास करणार, त्यानुसार तो त्या ठिकाणी ते रिटर्न करेल. Select left, 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 and here we can pass the string, suppose a b c d, and how many characters you want to return. Suppose 2 characters from the left side, we will get the ab as a result. लेफ्ट साइडचे 2 कॅरेक्टर्स तो रिटर्न करेल. जो जेवढे नंबर तुम्ही इथे पास कराल त्याला तेवढे व्हॅल्यूज तेवढे नंबर ऑफ कॅरेक्टर्स इनिशियली स्टार्टिंग लेफ्ट कडचे तो रिटर्न करणार. ठीक आहे, that is the init left function. Length function, now it returns the length of a string. This is the most important function and mostly we can use in case of the SQL, that is length. Length of ABC. What is the length of this string? That will be calculated and it will be returned. That is number of characters is nothing but the length of string. Here 4 characters in the given string, then we will get the result as a 4. This is the length string, length function. Now next function is nothing but the lower function. It will be convert all the letters in the lower case. We can check it is supported or not. Select lower. Check the string. Okay, it will be convert a capital letter into the lower letters. Okay, capital letters can be converted into the lowercase letter. Can you got it? Okay, lpad. Lpad means what? We can pad some strings, that is pad on the left a string with a character to a certain length. त्या लेंथ पर्यंत ते कॅरेक्टर्स काय करायचे, पॅड करायचे. सपोज आपण नंबर दिलाय 1 2 3, आपल्याला लेंथ पाहिजे 5 ची, मग राहिलेले कॅरेक्टर्स कोणते पॅड करणार तुम्ही त्या ठिकाणी, अटॅच कोणते करणार, 0 0. आता 0 0 1 2 3 च्या जर राईट साइडने जर दिले तर नंबर बदलतो, आपल्याला नंबर आहे तोच ठेवायचा. सो इट कॅन पॅड इट विथ द हेल्प ऑफ लेफ्ट साइड. सो हियर वी कॅन कन्सिडर lpad. Pad 0 0 from the left side we can consider as a lpad function. Can we check it, the corresponding output? There are so many functions, I will give some outputs only. There is that is select l pad. Now we have the number 1 2 3 suppose, then we pad we have to consider 5 number of character, what is the length is given there, 5 is the length given, we consider that length 5 in the integer form. Okay, and then we pad the symbol. Which symbol? Suppose we pad 0 0. Okay, we consider that particular double zero will be padded from the left side. Okay, left side la baga, left side la त्या ठिकाणी pad perform केलं. And if we consider suppose rpad function, then the 0 0 will be padded at the right side. Okay, 0 0 will be padded at the right side. Can you got it? Now similar to the lower function, we can have one more function, that is the upper. We pass the lower string here, lower characters. Upper function is there, upper, and here we can pass the hello word as a lowercase, and this will be converted into the uppercase. Okay, this is the upper function. It convert the lowercase character into the uppercase character. These are the different types of functions we can be used in your SQL language. Now ltrim, we trim the left hand side. Okay, trim करायचं म्हणजे काढून टाकायचं थोडक्यात. Remove the longest string that contains the specified characters from the left of the input string. Left side चे ते character input return केलं जाईल, trim केलं जाईल किंवा cut केलं जाईल. Now it returns, MD5 function can returns hash of a string in hexadecimal. So we need to consider the output this MD5. Select MD5, and here we can pass the string ABC. Suppose what will be the result we have? Okay, this function does not support it with our SQL. Okay, now these are some other functions. We can return the positions of a particular character. We use the position function. RegXP matches, that is match POSIX regular expression against a string and returns the matching substring. एक रेग्युलर एक्सप्रेशन इथे मेन्शन केले जाईल आणि त्या रेग्युलर एक्सप्रेशनला मॅच होणारी सबस्ट्रिंग काय करायची, तिथनं रिटर्न करायची. नाउ आवर रेग्युलर एक्सप्रेशन कॅन बी कन्सिडर्ड. दिस इज द रेग्युलर एक्सप्रेशन वी कॅन कन्सिडर. From this point to this point, we have the regular expression, and the function or this function returns those strings match with this regular expression. Now this experiment shows that the beginning of the character is A, and remaining character we will be consider any. Okay, that is nothing but the matching expression. This is the regular expression match. Then we can replace some strings with the corresponding regular expression. Then repeat, we can consider repeat star. किती टाइम्स रिपीट करायचा आहे तो स्टार प्रिंट करायचा आहे, 5 टाइम्स रिपीट करायचा आहे. त्या ठिकाणी तो डिस्प्ले करण्यासाठी आपण ते रिपीट फंक्शन एक्झिक्यूट करू शकतो. सिलेक्ट रिपीट star, that is how many times you want to repeat it. 5 times you can repeat. We display the star 5 times here. 5 वेळेस तो स्टार काय केला जाईल, डिस्प्ले केला जाईल. दिस इज द डिफरंट टाइप्स ऑफ फंक्शन्स यूज्ड इन केस ऑफ द रिव्हर्स. देन नेक्स्ट थिंग इज रिव्हर्स. वी रिव्हर्स द करस्पॉन्डिंग स्ट्रिंग. राइट, we can display the rightmost. आपण आधी लेफ्ट साइडचे कॅरेक्टर्स डिस्प्ले केले होते, नंबर ऑफ कॅरेक्टर्स. इथे राइट फंक्शनचा यूज करून तुम्ही राइटमोस्ट कॅरेक्टर डिस्प्ले करू शकता. नाउ rpad फंक्शन pad the corresponding number from the right side. तो पण आपण बघितलं. rtrim, ltrim बघितलं, त्याच्या अपोजिट rtrim आहे. लेफ्ट साइडचं ltrim लेफ्ट साइडचे कॅरेक्टर ट्रिम करतो, rtrim हा राइट साइडचे कॅरेक्टर्स काय करेल, ट्रिम करेल. ते स्प्लिट पार्ट, स्ट्रिंगचा काही पार्ट स्प्लिट करायचा असेल तर त्यासाठी स्प्लिट पार्ट फंक्शन वापरलं जाईल. Substring, we select a particular substring from the given string, then use substring function. Trim function, we remove the longest string that contains specified characters from the left, right or both of the input string. जसं आपण ltrim घेतो तो फक्त लेफ्ट साइड ट्रिम करेल, rtrim घेतला तर तो फक्त राइट साइड ट्रिम करेल, आणि आपण जर ट्रिम घेतलं तर तो दोन्ही लेफ्ट पण करेल राइट पण करेल, आणि किंवा दोन्ही साइडचे ट्रिमिंग त्या ठिकाणी परफॉर्म केलं जाईल किंवा कॅरेक्टर रिलेशन त्या ठिकाणी perform केलं जातं. That is nothing but the trim functions, or here we consider this is the upper function. We also consider that particular function. Okay, that is all nothing but the functions corresponding to that of the strings. We use these different types of functions with the select keyword and get the result corresponding to that of the function. That is nothing but the string function. Now next point, that is nothing but the null values. What is the null value? Now here null value shows the it shows there is suppose some of the attributes that does not specify, that does not have a particular value. For example, if we consider every student does not have a bank account. Okay, every student does not have a bank account, and if you want to store the database of the student, like name of the student, address of the student, phone number of the student, and bank account number of the student, but every student does not have a bank account, so some student can have a null value at that bank account. ठीक आहे. त्या कॉलमला काही स्टुडंटला काय येणार आहे, नल व्हॅल्यू येणार आहे. नाउ दिस नल व्हॅल्यू इज अ स्पेसिफिक व्हॅल्यू which attributes serve it, that is which that is some attributes can have that null values, that attributes requires that null value because there is a particular possibility of that particular context. So here we can define the null value, that is null value is the implementation dependent special value which is distinct from all null values, and there is effectively one and only one value. Okay, it is the only one value. Null value, it is not nothing different. Okay, it is just a value. Okay, we consider, we don't specify anything, that is we can insert null at that position. If we write not null for a particular column, then we are not allowed to insert null value into it. Okay, if you have that is we discuss this null or not null constraint as also, that is we consider, if we mention at the definition of a column, we mention that column as a not null, then it's compulsory to insert the value at that point. If you don't specify not null constraint at that point, then we repeat or we don't pass the value, we can mention null value for that particular column. Okay, it can accept, but when we mention the not null, then there is no chance to insert the null value at that particular position. Now when we consider the null value, it can be updated later. If you want to change, suppose we have to add a null value for the corresponding student, that is that's when we create the database, at that time the student does not have an account number, but after some time, after some days, the student can open the account and they that particular student have an account number, then we can update that account number instead of that null value. जिथे आपण null insert केलं होतं तिथे आपण ते नंतर काय करू शकतो, update करू शकतो. Now in case of the relational database management system, different default values can be given to the null, that is 0 in case of a numeric column. Okay, if we mention the particular column as a numeric, that is the integer, okay, then at that time we can mention 0 at that point. If we mention the particular column contains the null value, that is a blank if fixed length string column. If we mention the particular column as a char data type, then we mention the represent null value as a blank character. Then empty if varying length column, empty can be represented for the var data type column. This is the null value. Now next thing here we can consider comparison using the null values. Different types of comparisons we will be considered, that is here we consider this particular database. Now in that database we can have the column ID, name, age, address and corresponding salary is there. Okay, and salary column will be considered, or it can accept the null value. Salary column has the numeric data type, so here we don't mention the Komal 22 age MP address. Here we don't mention anything about this. Okay, now in this case, now here we need to compare the null value. In this context we get the better result. Here following query, the use of not null operator can be considered, that is select ID, name, age, address and salary from the customer where salary is not null. We compare whose salary is not null. Okay, salary is not null. Not null means what? We have the salary at that particular column, we display all those record, those salary has not null. That means we can get the result from 1 2 3 4 5. These are the results we will get at that particular context. Okay, that is the salary we having not null. And if we want the particular result, that is select all these things, that is name, ID, name, age, address, salary from the customer where salary is null, where salary is null, then we will get the one result, that is the 6 Komal 22 MP. This result will be returned to you. Okay, that is nothing but this is the query corresponding to that of the comparison. That is we use the not null value to compare the results also. We will get the better results from the database also. That is the importance of that not null. Now next point that is to be discussed, that is the nested queries. What is the nested queries and how we can write the nested queries? Here nested queries are nothing but the query within a query, that is the nested query. Just like we can consider loop within a loop, that is the nested loops. We can similar thing, we consider query within a query, that means nested queries. And how we can write that nested queries, that we should be consider with different types of operators, with different types of clauses used in our SQL. That is query within query is called as the nested query. Sometimes it is referred as a nested subquery. A subquery is a select from where expression that is nested within another query. We write the query in the form of select from where clause. Okay, we consider the query in the form of select from where clauses, and if we write once again in the select clause, we write again select from where query, that is the nested query. Okay, or in case of a where clause, we write again select star from where conditions we can apply, that is we can apply or we can insert our nested query in that particular select, or in case of a where clauses, we write the again one more query inside into that particular clauses. Now here those queries will return inside the outer query, that is the subqueries, and subquery can be defined as a query within a query. Okay, subquery कशाला म्हटलं जाईल, जी query मध्ये query आपण write केली, that is the subquery can be considered. Subquery can use values from our outer queries. Those results were fetched from the outer queries that can be applied to the inner queries, and in which case it is known as a correlated subqueries. If we need to represent that queries, that is the results of outer queries used for the inner queries, that is the correlated results should be considered. Now, in this particular case, we can say that subquery or inner query or a nested query is a query within another SQL query, and embedded with the where clauses, the subqueries is used to return the data that will be used in the main query as a condition for to further restrict the data to be retrieved. Sometimes what happens, we require the nested query, we get the results from the nested query and can be applied to the condition for the outer query in this particular case. When we write the nested queries, now it can be used with select, it can be used with insert command, it can be used with update command, or it can be used with delete statements, along with the operators like equal to, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, in, between, etc. These all operators can be applied when we write the nested queries within this particular different commands, that is the some are the data definition, some are the data manipulation commands. Okay, now here we can write the query with the select statement, we consider this particular syntax, we discuss all these subqueries in details in the tomorrow's lecture. Okay, now today we just consider what is the nested query, that is the query within a query, the definition of that query. We study all the detailed syntax of the queries and different types of subqueries in the next lecture, in the tomorrow's lecture. So we conclude today's lecture at this particular point. So if any doubts, any suggestions, please post me in the chat box or in case of a group. Okay, so thanks to all of you.